Hello, Professor. My name is Richard Cifuentes, and today I'm going to share with you some information about plagiarism. First, I'm going to show in the camera. This is my ID card. It says Richard Cifuentes, okay, and that's it, okay. So let's start. Talking about plagiarism, we can find that it is a common topic for being talked about with among teachers, okay. So plagiarism is a non-new word. Exactly, it starts from through um, for the beginning of the Renaissance. It starts at a practice where people, religious people, copy the text without the permission of some author. Okay, then the plagiarism changing to another kind of types, and that's it. Okay, exactly. Plagiarism refers to the action to take some information from some source and setting it as own creation in a document, avoiding references and another ways where it can show who's the owner. So plagiarism is taken as another form of theft, okay, or maybe robbery of documents or maybe information, okay. Then unfortunately, plagiarism is for the actually situation for most the practice in the student way. So most of the 90% of students of a survey say that they recognize used plagiarism in some stage in its career, okay, it's a student career. So for me it's important to recognize where the plagiarism can be detected and how it's helpful for the teaching practice. Okay, there are so many types of plagiarism. In this opportunity, I'm going to relate the 9 that appears in the practice guide and says copy paste information without the author recognize it. It says about the most simply and common way of do plagiarism is just the copy paste of some information and don't refer it to the author. Okay, auto plagiarism is to use the previous work of myself, and then I'm going to present it as a new one. Okay, then collusion, it is the participation of several students in a work that had to be developed by one, okay, in an individual I recognize that the collusion is very common in my case in the unit educativa I work. So students simply had to do maybe an activity in maybe a worksheet, and they develop the activity throughout WhatsApp, and then they only copy the answers, and that's it. Okay. Then individually, this kind of plagiarism is quite related with collusion. So it is the usage of the information obtained, but it's in a copy way. Okay, maybe one student, two students, three students in a same class have the same structure or maybe the same ideas of an article maybe or document. Okay, cloning. The cloning is I suppose for me it's the worst type of plagiarism because it's simply too easy to find where it used. Okay, I find many cases of cloning the past week. I sent to my students to create a poem for their mom. Mm, One student just copy exactly a poem from the internet and said that this its own creation. That is cloning. Okay, also like it refers to the okay. It's quite smart. Okay, it refers to the usage of some information of various kinds of articles, maybe documents in a comprehensive way, so the teacher can detect, or maybe it's difficult to detect if the student create or not, because it's from other articles. Okay, remix is it's similar to the mosaic way, but so remix treats more about the mix with students contributions, and at the final, I suppose that this is the most difficult way to catch if the student do plagiarism. Okay, find and replace, it refers to the copy and the change of certain words. I admit that in my when I was teenager, I do this for avoiding maybe chemical classes or things that weren't exactly significant for me. Verbatim, the last one, it refers to using the ideas that can appear maybe in a video, or maybe a conference, or things like that, okay? Or maybe also podcasts, and don't refer it, okay? Um, there are other kinds of plagiarisms that actually I can recognize. Some of them will be, in my case, I am a musician. If I performance maybe a piece of music, um, there are many opportunities that I can use maybe pieces of another arts, and most of people say that is just refers previous songs, but for me it's another way of plagiarism. Okay, the use of previous ideas in a musical way. Okay, what to do for find plagiarism? Okay, number one, I found some information about programs that can detect, or maybe analyze if some stu some practice is previous doing, maybe, or maybe if some document has other uh, other ones that can point out if the student is doing plagiarism. There are many pages, websites, or maybe like plagiarismcheck.org. I'm sorry. Quick text. Also, Grammarly Business has many helpful tools for catch if someone is doing that. Okay. Also, I know that the platform Edmodo had auto, or maybe plagiarism um, product, or maybe system into the website, or into the platform, that helps teachers to find it. Okay, without the using of another tool. Then we have the reference testing. It refers to the teachers procedures. Okay, most of teachers, in my case, when I have maybe exercises, or maybe things to do in a graded way, I analyze if the student has the level that he uses in this writing. If I catch that he is in a low level, maybe A2.2, and he grades in maybe a B2 level, or more, I said no, he is doing something wrong. And I use my smartphone. I have mobile dates, and start to find it in the information. Okay, or things like this. Then we have the search by information extracts. It's quite similar to the previous one. So in this case, it refers to analyze the text. Maybe take some piece of the text that the student provides, and you can find it directly in Google, or maybe Google Academic, I suppose, is most usually for this. And analyze if he catch. There are many websites that offers actually give it or pre given homeworks, maybe brainly. I found many information of this website where someone starts a conversation, and other that knows about the topic answers the question, and usually there are questions, okay, homework questions. Okay, finally, as a final reflection, um, for me, plagiarism is a reality. It's not an exchange for everyone. I suppose in my case, when I was maybe teenager, I used many pieces of information in a wrong way. Maybe using, I recognize that I used something called Rincón del Vago and pages to do my math classes, and like this. It's a reality. Most of the teachers have to perform this work using or analyzing that they have to effort and enforce it themselves to encourage themselves, I'm sorry, to give or provide solutions, maybe throughout investigation, or maybe throughout using another methods or techniques to evaluate, or maybe giving classes in maybe in an oral or experimental way, yet dealing with using methods like flipped classroom, where the students had a piece of the what they are going to do during the classes, and in the classes just experimental activities, or maybe constructional activities, where the student develops their skills in a real-time procedure. Okay, that's all, Professor. I hope you are doing well, and thank you very much for see this video. See you later.